Hello, welcome to episode 60 of Your Ultimate Comeback. I'm your co-host, Brad. I'm here with Raquel.
Hello.
How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to all of you.
Yes.
Hope you guys had a great holiday season. Glad it's over.
Me too.
Yeah, ready to get back after it.
But it really isn't over until Monday is really what I consider the
that's
beginning.
true. Yeah,
because
yeah.
everybody's taken all this extra time.
Yeah, to recover.
No, really, for real. For real. Nobody's back at work yet.
No.
Not
Yeah.
seriously.
It was pretty slow at the gym today.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So Monday.
it's on.
Yep.
For 2 weeks.
Exactly.
The second Friday of January. It's called Quitter's Day.
Is it really?
I think it's the second Friday of
I would
January.
believe that. I would
It's
believe
officially Quitter's Day.
Mm-hmm.
That's when like 90% of people have like given up on their New Year's resolutions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you make any New Year's resolutions?
I do not.
I don't either.
But you know what I did do? Is the last class that I taught of the year on New Year's Eve, I asked the class to think about one thing that they wanted to leave behind in 2024 and one thing that they wanted to bring into 2025.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So what was interesting is Quinn brought this up. She said, well, that could be the inverse too. So you could just flip-flop whatever it was. But I thought it was a cool thing to kind of think about because there's definitely some things that I wanted to leave behind and definitely some things that I want to bring in.
That's like every year, right?
Yeah. But I mean, I don't look at it that way every year for some reason, but this year I am.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
We just got back from Costa Rica. Fun trip.
Yeah. Tell us all about Brad.
Oh, no. It was my daughter's volleyball team win.
Yes.
So it was great volleyball. She had a great time, so that was all that really mattered. But
Good.
The girls got to do something really cool New Year's Eve on the beach in Costa Rica. Our tour guide was from, I think, Nicaragua.
Okay.
And they did a Nicaraguan New Year's Eve tradition. So they built a campfire, and each girl wrote down one fear and one failure they wanted to leave behind from last year. And
very similar.
So they wrote it down, they lit it on fire. And
Very
the fire.
cool.
I thought that was super cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Oh, what are you doing?
I don't know.
Put your beer can away, bro.
Sorry. There's 3 of them. My New Year's is still rolling.
Apparently. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I thought that was super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a huge fireworks show right on the beach.
Okay.
It was like 45 minutes long. It was crazy. But I thought that was a really cool tradition, like New Year's Eve tradition.
Yeah.
I like it a lot better than the New Year's resolutions.
Yeah. Well, I actually have a sweatshirt that I pull out once a year that says, I don't care about your New Year's resolution. And it's just kind of funny. I don't know, because exactly for the reason you're talking about, that it lasts for a very short period of time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, and also now we're in dry January, right? It's like, oh, come on, you guys. It's so, and you know what? God bless if that's what you need to do. But how about just pump the brakes a little bit throughout the year instead of making it all one big thing?
Yeah. I came across a really interesting post on Instagram that shows how alcohol affects us as we age.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Not good.
Brutally hard it is on the body after the age of 40.
Yeah.
Not good at all.
Right.
So
well, it's not good for anybody. We know that.
Yeah,
really.
There's no benefit.
But
to
it definitely gets the thinner brain is what freaks me out. I don't want a thinner brain.
Yeah.
You know.
It takes a long time to recover from one drink as you get older too. That was kind of shocking to me.
Everything takes a long time to recover as you get older. That's the thing. That's like, God damn. What is fun about aging?
There's not a whole lot.
No, there's really not.
Yeah.
It used to be, you gained wisdom.
Yeah.
And the elders
The
were
sage.
the
You're
sage.
highly respected.
Right. I don't know about that so much anymore.
Yeah, and I just get tossed.
Quinn had us watch this movie that she had already seen it. She wanted to see my reaction to it. And it's a movie called The Substance. And some of you that are listening may have watched it or heard me talk about this, but it's with Demi Moore, and she plays an aerobics instructor on TV, full on, leg warmers and the whole deal, just like what I actually did.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Quinn thought I would be interested in it. And the producer, who's Dennis Quaid, decides to axe her because she's 50 now. And she hears him talking about, she's too old. And she looks phenomenal. She really does. But too old. We need newer, brighter, better, younger, all the things. So I'm going to ruin it for everybody. But someone gets in touch with her that tells her that there's this substance that she can take if she wants to be. Have you ever dreamt of being a younger, better version of yourself? So it's you, just better. So she goes all in on this stuff, and it's this nasty stuff that you inject into yourself that looks like Gatorade. It's the color of Gatorade. And anyway, let's just say it doesn't end pretty.
I bet not.
Yeah. But it started out, the premise was kind of cool because I thought, you know what? That is a thing that people start, oh my God, what can I do to slow this down? What can I do to be the old me?
Yeah.
And people, will do a lot of things. We all know that. So anyway, it was an interesting sort of movie to watch. So at the end got really wild.
You know the number one best thing to slow aging down is?
Are you going to say sleep? Weight training.
Weight training.
Oh, okay.
I guess sleep would probably be the most needed, but weight training is the greatest gift we can give to our bodies as we age to slow the aging process down and stay young.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. That's why I'm so big on it, especially as I get older.
For sure.
Yeah.
I just it's, and how many times have we discussed this, but it's so hard to grow old in the area that we live in.
Yeah, it's super tough.
I mean, I feel like if I lived, I don't know, Midwest, probably wouldn't matter quite so much.
Yeah.
Here and doing what I do, I'm constantly looking at all these hot babes around me.
Yeah.
You too. I mean, you're doing fine because you're not even 50 yet, but it's, I don't think guys feel that way the way that women do.
No, it definitely is not as hard on us.
Yeah. Yeah. You're cool when you got gray hair, a little paunch is okay, right? I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Listen, I don't know about that.
That is not on my to-do list.
Yeah, I know. But
that's what I'm trying to avoid.
Exactly. But it's just
mostly because I don't want all the negative health side effects that come with that.
Right.
So,
it's true.
Yeah. To me, that's a sign of an unhealthy man.
Is the paunch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means some not so good stuff is happening to a guy.
Yeah. And it seems to be that, and I've even kind of noticed that, this whole menopausal thing, there's a definite, fighting against it is very challenging. And I feel like I do a lot of it right.
Oh, you do 100%.
But I still am like, God damn it. Why is it not exactly the way I want it to be?
It's never.
I know it's never going to be, but it's just, see, who was I talking to the other day? And I was subbing a class. And I said to one of the participants something I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be 60 next month. And they're like, oh. And I didn't get a, oh, really? And my heart sank. So anytime I tell you I'm going to be 60 in a month, you better go, oh,
are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Is that good?
Yes. Please practice that again.
Okay.
So
wait, you're going to be 60?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
You had no idea. You thought it was 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just would be happy if they thought 50, So it's really, and you know what? Don't get me wrong. I know I'm doing okay. I'm not trying to say I'm not. But as we've talked about many times, this comparison trap is terrible. It's the thief of joy for sure.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to not do that.
Yeah.
And we're surrounded by, the phones, the images, the this, the that, and everybody can tweak themselves to look a certain way on whatever media device. And they can also do it in real life too by going to whatever doctor. I don't know. It kind of becomes this thing of how much am I willing to do to kind of stay ahead of the game, I guess. I don't know.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I just trained your daughter earlier today.
Yeah.
And we were talking about you.
Oh.
She's like, my mom looks so good, looks so strong. Like, I wish I looked like my mom. So
that's sweet.
You're doing a pretty good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's a good one.
And I responded like, oh, yeah, she looks great for her age. I'm just kidding.
God.
I'm just kidding.
Can you pull the dagger out of my heart now,
I'm just
please?
Kidding.
No, anyway. It's okay.
I actually said, oh, she looks better than women that are 20 years younger than her. So
I don't know if we'll go that far, but thank you. I don't know.
You just had your daughter. How old's Quinn? 19?
19.
Yeah, saying she wants to look like you.
She will. I think she's very aware.
She wants to right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you think she looks
strong? She wants to be short?
She wants to be the taller version of you.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. No, she does a lot of things right. She really does.
Yeah, she does great.
Yeah.
Her off season was really, or just this winter break was really beneficial. So
yeah, I think she's ready to go back to schools,
Yeah.
Locked in.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a great season for her.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I do.
I'm pretty sure it will be.
Okay. From your lips to God's ears.
Oh, and I want to bring this up. This is something I actually really want to talk about. Your daughter recommended a book to me.
Oh.
All in Confidence.
All in Confidence.
No, it's On Confidence.
Oh,
The book is on the topic of confidence.
Oh, got it.
I should know the name of it, but I can't remember the name of it right now.
Okay.
But I read it when I was in Costa Rica. I'm about halfway through it.
Okay.
Holy cow.
Really?
Yeah, I've already started implementing all the stuff the guy teaches with my kids. I'm doing it myself.
Oh, cool.
Like, I think anybody, let me see if I can find the name of the book.
I'm reading the book you gave me, Schwarzenbein Principle.
Oh, how do you like it?
I do. Very interesting.
Hang on one second. I'm gonna pull the name of the book up because I just bought one for myself, bought one for my daughter.
Cool.
It is called, come on, Amazon. The Confident Mind. So good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Give us an example.
I'll use sport as examples. It's easier to give examples on, but you can use it for business, being a parent, anything you feel you lack confidence in.
Yes.
His strategies and systems work to regain confidence. It's amazing. But he talks, like, for example, one example he used was sport, was that to build confidence in what you're trying to do, you should record your performances. And then the first thing you do is you erase all your mess ups. You should only watch yourself replaying the things you did right.
Really?
Yes. And he used Tony Gwynn as an example. He's one of the best hitters of all time in baseball. And, Tony Gwynn did this years and years and years ago.
Okay.
It's the first thing he'd do. He would record every at bat, and then he would erase every poor swing he had.
Really?
And then only rewatch the good swings because it teaches your brain.
Yeah.
He calls it like a positive bank account contribution.
Okay.
So you're only seeing yourself doing it well.
Okay.
And so that's one of the big things he's focused on is putting in positive, confident building memories and thoughts and all of that.
Okay.
That's an example of just like one of the simple tools he uses. Where I've made that mistake is when I rewatch video with my kids.
Yeah.
We always look at what they do well, but then we look at what they do poorly and like, okay, how are we going to fix that?
How can we improve?
Time? But what he says is that ingrains into the brain the poor patterns. If you only watch the good things you do, it redeposits how you do things properly.
Interesting.
And he used an example like with tennis. Another example was positive affirmations. They talk about that. Like, and he used an example of a poor positive affirmation is, I never miss my second serve.
That's a poor
way to say it. Because what the brain picks up on is the miss. He said the better way to say it is, my second serve always lands inside the line. So like positive affirmation should always be built around doing it in the now and doing it right versus I don't do it this way. It's no, I do it this way.
Okay.
So there's just two examples.
Little ways to tweak
Thought
process.
With how the research on how the brain develops, and especially around confidence, is you have to speak positively in the first person, in the now and in the future, but it's always a positive segment, not a I don't do it bad this way, I do it good this way type of a thing.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a really good read. If anybody struggles with confidence, which I think we all do, whether it's for a job, whether it's for a sport or whatever, it's really, really nice. And even share strategies and how you go back in time. So like one of the things I did with Gavin was we did this in Costa Rica. We went over his last football season. And I said, okay, you're going to come up with 10 things you're very proud of that you think you did well last season. And so I had him write them all down himself. So he came up with 10 of them. Yeah. And then it was, okay, what's your goal next season? And then we wrote down what his goal is for next season. And then I'll put a picture of him playing football, and that'll be posted up in the bathroom. So every day he sees, he'll get confidence of his past, of the things he did well. It's just really, and Gavin was super excited.
Oh, nice.
And then another thing we teach is, I'll share some more here because it's such a fascinating book, is after every practice or game or workout, whatever he does, he calls it PSE. So you have progress. What is one thing you progressed at this last practice? The S is successes. What is one thing you did successful last practice? And the E is effort. What is one thing that you had great effort in? I think it's PSE or E. It's those three things. Okay. And you have to write down at least one.
So you write those things down after practice.
So you write those things down after practice so that you're remembering the good things you did in practice. So you're always, the goal of confidence should be about always building on what you've done well.
Yes.
Versus always focusing on, like I catch my son doing this. I'm like, how do you feel you did in your game? Well, I dropped this pass, or I didn't do this. Yeah. I would have to add, like, well, what did you, he wanted to like focus on the things he didn't do well versus focusing on the things he did well and forgetting about just letting go of the things you don't do well.
Don't you think that comes from, we are taught to be humble. Yeah. And we are taught to not not to be like, to brag. Yeah. Right. So I think we are taught to kind of dumb down what we're doing well.
Yes.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like you're all taught to focus on your weaknesses, not focus on your strengths.
Absolutely.
But confidence always comes from recognizing your strengths and how good you are at certain things and building the confidence. And I've done it in the past. I can do it again.
Yeah.
So that's just a couple, 3 or 4 of this.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many strategies in there.
That's cool.
Yeah. So like with Gavin, I started off with the 10 things he did well with the goal. And then when I started doing the ESP, he's really excited.
Nice.
Whatever it is, SCP or ESP, whatever.
Yeah.
Like he's all excited to do those
Cool.
after workouts and practices and things like that. And when you start looking at it that way, it actually kind of fires you up and gets you excited.
Yeah. How did she find the book?
I have no idea how Quinn found the book.
Huh.
But she recommended it. I'm like,
okay.
Oh. Anytime someone thinks a book is something I always buy it and read it. And I was so thankful she recommended that book because that's an area that I misunderstood dramatically on how to build confidence because I've always struggled with it. I see most people I work with struggle with it. And the strategies that are out there just...
Yeah.
Some of these honestly feel dumb. Like...
Well, it kind of reminds me of when we had, it's Eric, right?
You're
on, and he was talking about talking in the mirror.
Yeah.
Right? And his wife was giving him a hard time because he wasn't doing it in a believable way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we feel silly sometimes.
And they teach that. I always kind of felt silly in that section of it.
Yeah.
But the science is so clear.
Speaking to yourself, right? Positively.
Yeah. Oh, and there was even one section in the book where it talks from a health standpoint. I've actually read this study in the past. I've forgotten about it. They had hotel cleaners, so men and women that clean the hotels, and they had them. One of the groups positively affirmed themselves that talking about how their work is exercise.
Absolutely.
And so they would say positive affirmations as they're working at it, that it was making them healthier. And another group did not do that. And after this certain period of time, the group who was positively affirming that their work was helping them get healthier, their blood pressure dropped.
Really?
They actually got healthier. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
So that's another scenario of if you're focused on your fitness, be positive with yourself. Right. Like, this is working well for me.
Yeah.
There's so many people like, this isn't working. That's not going to work for me. They're very negative about it. But if you can flip the script in your head and be like, this is great for my health. This is helping me lose body fat. I'm getting leaner by doing this. I'm getting more energy by doing this. My blood pressure is coming down by doing this. And you positively affirm that stuff, that can only help you get better results in your health and fitness.
Definitely.
Yeah. So The Confident Mind, great book.
Okay. Who's the author?
You're
going to tell us right now.
Right now.
Confident Mind.
So the book's called Confident Mind.
Oh, Confident Mind.
The Confident Mind. I got to pull it up and get bigger because
she can't see.
A battle-tested guide to unshakable performance by Dr. Nate Zinser.
Okay. Cool.
Zinser. I just got it.
Yeah. Amazon.
Yeah. So
brought it to you in 2 hours. Kind of thing.
So this is pretty cool. He's a guy responsible for the mental toughness training at West Point. Yeah.
Okay.
It's really cool.
Well, we all know how much our minds can affect things. Yeah. Positively and negatively. Yeah. So it's good to have someone give tips for how to stay on course.
Well, and I know with myself, like when I was as an athlete, a speaker, all that stuff, I was always around like physical training. Like I'm going to get physically stronger. I'm going to endure more in the gym, and that's going to build my confidence. And it never worked. I never really understood how to train the brain for that confidence side of things. Yeah. I think some people are more. I don't know if it's lifestyle, what has caused them. Some people have more of it than others, just naturally. And a lot of times we'll look at them as like, oh, they're egotistical maniacs.
Well, what's funny that you say that is we don't usually see people with what most of us would consider the appropriate amount, if that makes sense. We notice those that overdo it. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And then we also notice those that definitely are constantly beating themselves down. Yeah. And so we don't really notice the people in the middle as much.
I feel like it's more people are on the latter end of beating themselves up. I'm not enough. I can't do this well. I'm going to screw up. Definitely. The fear of failure, all that stuff is playing in. Yeah, he even used Eli Manning, the quarterback that won a couple Super Bowls. That was one of his clients, and the work they did with him on this stuff. Okay. Really good stories. Right. But it pertains to anything we do in life.
Doesn't have to be sports.
Doesn't have to be sports, no. So he talks about it with, soldiers, with athletes, with people that are working and getting better at their jobs. Yeah. Confidence is a big thing.
For sure.
And I think most of us, myself included, I misunderstood it and I did not understand how to develop it. And I'm really excited to go through this process myself and with my kids.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like something that coaches should read.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about, or Quinn and I have talked about, what makes a coach good? Yeah. What makes you want to really perform for that coach and feel safe and comfortable around that coach, you know? And there's different things.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think that it doesn't always translate what they're trying to do, doesn't, you know, and men and women are different with what we need.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I see so many coaches build an environment of fear where the kids are afraid to screw up, which then leads to they're afraid to take risks.
Yes.
So they start playing it safe, which is not good. There's a great guy who was he played at Georgia, football Georgia. He talks a lot about this. I can't remember his name, but talks a lot about like when he coaches kids, is he creates a safe environment for them to make mistakes and to take risk so that they grow and become better at what they're doing.
Right.
Because the only way you can get better at something is to have the courage to attempt and screw up, to take a risk at something you're not good at.
Yep.
And if you take the risk and you screw up and then you just get hammered, you'll never take the risk again.
Right.
So it really limits growth with athletes, I think.
Yeah.
So that's why this book talks about, like, you can't control the coaching.
Yeah.
You can only control, like,
your response to
the coaching and what just happened. And so, and he talks a lot about how to deal with that as well.
Yeah. Well, since I've never been an athlete, that is such a foreign thing to me.
Yeah.
But I'm fascinated by how one has to just, okay, that play's over. I'm done. Next one. Doesn't matter. Good or bad.
Yeah.
Good or bad. You have to move on.
Yeah.
And just be so in the present moment.
Yeah.
And you can't allow, oh shit, I really fucked that last thing up. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't.
Well, it even comes down to parenting, right? Like, I mean, oh shit. What am I doing that's screwing my kids up? I think about that all the time, you know, like.
Me too.
Yeah. But like, you can still use it as parenting. Like, hey, I handled that really well today.
Yeah.
You know, and I put a lot of effort in. I showed up for them.
Right.
I had this success with them. I got better at this with them.
Yes.
You can build that confident bank account knowing, okay, I'm being a great parent with the same style of a system. It can come down to that.
Yeah.
It's anything in life that you want to be good at. You have to have a way to build confidence around that.
Right.
So they talk a lot about like repetitions and, you know, you have to like repeat and repeat and repeat. And,
Yes.
well, that's hard to do.
Right.
Because what happens is you get some growth and then you stagnate out for a while, but it's still happening when you do it right. And then you have a jump and then there's that big plateau.
Yeah.
So most people kind of give up on it because they don't have the confidence mindset training to help encourage them along the way to keep going.
Yeah.
It's a really good book.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the very few books.
Another one for me to read now.
Yeah, it's one of the few books I think everybody should read because we can all take something from it.
Definitely.
The mental side of life is, to me, what I see with it is it's the limiting factor in my life and most of the people I work with lives is they don't understand the mental training side of things.
Yeah.
You aren't just born with it.
No.
You have to train it like you have to train your body, but where do you go for that?
Yeah. No, it's a very, very valid point.
Yeah. Like you can't just think positive thoughts.
No. And I, in the past, and probably am still guilty of, I am really good about thinking about worst case scenarios.
100%.
All the time.
Yeah.
And I used to kind of fool myself into thinking, well, if I'm thinking about the worst case scenario, then it's actually going to be easier when that happens.
Yeah.
But really, you're living that nightmare twice if it does. And it's not, you know, and I heard someone say once that it's just praying for what you don't want.
Yeah.
So why ruminate on that?
Yeah.
And it's so much easier said than done.
Yeah.
But you know, when you talked about the parenting thing, it's we don't get a manual, and the ones that are out there are kind of silly, but we just do what was taught to us or what was done for us or to us, or we do the 180 is what I think.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain things that I would absolutely not do.
Yeah.
And there's certain things I would like to do.
Yeah.
You know, and you catch yourself saying, you know, we were talking about that the other week about, oh my God, it just sounded like my dad or my mom or whatever. You know, it's crazy how knee-jerk that is.
It's super knee-jerk.
Yeah.
But it's how
we were raised.
Modeling is a very powerful thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's funny. The perfect example of this, I used to train this gentleman named Robert Pang. He's great. He's a golf pro at one of the big country clubs in the area. And I got invited to come out and play at his country club. And I told him about it. I was all excited. He goes, hey, that's great. Whatever you do on 18, just don't hit it in the water. And every time I'd see him, he's like, remember, when you get to 18, do not hit it in the water. And I'm playing a great round of golf. I get to 18 and it's right in front of like the country club. Like everyone's eating and watching.
Oh my God.
And the water is like right to the right. I'm like, the water's right there. Like,
you're not going to do that.
What do you think I did?
You hit it in the water.
Plump right in the water. I'm like, God damn
like
it, Robert.
Like that kicker?
Yeah.
For, what team was it? Was that Georgia? The kicker for Georgia? That
Oh, I don't even know.
Or no, for Texas. It was for Texas.
Oh, yeah. When he hit the,
yes, the goalpost.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, that guy wants to swallow himself up and just crawl in a hole and die right now.
But for weeks leading up to that, all I heard was don't hit it in the water 18. Don't hit it in the water 18. So my brain picked up, hit it in the water in 18.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And you probably couldn't do that again if you tried.
No, it was like not
spot.
hard, but he knew he was getting in my head.
Yeah.
Golfers are actually really good at this stuff.
Yeah.
I talked to Brendan Steele, the pro golfer training, he all the time is talking about if the water's to the left, I'm not thinking don't hit to the left.
No.
I'm thinking
hit to the right. Hit to the right.
Yeah.
I wonder if he knows this book.
I don't know, but he and I talk a lot about, he's got some really good strategies and he's mentioned to other coaches that are really good around this stuff. Yeah. But it's one of the things he's always talked about is you never think about where you don't want to hit it. You only focus on where you want to hit it.
Right. And that makes sense.
Yeah. It's the same thing with confidence. Mm-hmm. Like you never want to say, you always want to stay on the positive side of things. What you want your brain to do positively, your body to do positively. Right. Because your body will, as a man thinketh, so he becomes type of a thing.
Yes.
There's so much truth. The more I think about that, and the more I learn this stuff. Mm-hmm. So.
Isn't it funny the things we care about when we get older?
Oh, yeah.
I was laughing about that the other day. None of this stuff would have, in my 30s or 40s, would I have given a crap about.
I wish I would have known.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. It's just, you're just so in the moment. I'm never getting old.
Yeah. And I'm excited because my son is like super excited about it.
Good.
Yeah. My daughter was like,
whatever, Dad.
I'm like, honey, Quinn recommended this book to me. She's like, oh, really? Like, yeah, yes.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. So he's still at that age where he's like, nothing's weird, nothing's silly to him.
Yeah. Good.
So,
Keep that.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to hammer that pretty hard.
Nice.
I'm hoping she picks up on it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, maybe if you don't, sometimes I feel like when you suggest things one time, it's okay, but I'm really good at saying things multiple times. Yeah. And my daughter's like, okay, that's the fifth time you've said that. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, sorry.
I have another book that I recommended like a year ago to her, and she's finally reading it.
Is she?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's called The Alter Ego Effect.
Oh, okay.
It's another psychological book.
Okay, I think she started it and then maybe stopped because I feel like I saw that book around.
Oh, I've read it a few times. Okay. Oh, your daughter Quinn?
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking about Isabel.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Did you tell her about that, Quinn, about that book too?
Yeah.
Okay, I knew I'd seen that.
It's a really good, that one really helped me in my speaking career. It's the alter egos around like, who do you have to become great at what you do? Mm-hmm. And you create that ego, that alter ego. Yeah. And when you talk to, again, most professional athletes, there's someone different on the field than they are off the field.
For sure. Yeah.
And Martin Luther King is another great example about it. When he put his glasses on, he was the distinguished Martin. Oh. So he had an alter ego.
Very cool.
Yeah. So a lot, like it's a really cool thing. And so you kind of create a who do you need to be, who mimics that, and then you have like you name that person. Huh. Yeah. So like when I was speaking, especially early on, I had my alter ego of who I was on stage.
Who was it? Come on.
I was a combination of The Rock.
Okay.
And then, she's a really great motivational speaker. Lisa. Oh, what is her name?
Lisa. Don't know.
I can't remember, but it was a combination of those two.
So your feminine and masculine side, feminine and masculine together.
And very
like
energetic, very playful.
Okay.
I had a tendency early on when I speak, I'd get real serious.
Yeah.
So that helped me kind of break through that and be more playful and energetic. And
nice.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't remember her name. She's great.
Well, when you're not thinking about it, it'll come to you.
Yeah. As soon as we're done, it'll pop in my head.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. But it's right on the tip of my tongue. I can see her face, everything.
Yeah.
It's great energy, great messaging. But yeah, so I was a combination of those two people. And I would always wear a rubber band on my wrist. And I would snap the rubber band before I would start. And that was my signal to become that person.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Wonder Twins Activate or whatever that was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a really good strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fake it till you make it, they say.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Very cool.
But yeah, she's finally reading that book. She told me the other day she's finally reading that book. Her club coach is like, hey, I want the girls to kind of start reading and things like that. Do you have any good books I should recommend? I'm like, yes.
Do I?
The Alter Ego Effect.
Yeah.
So that's
good.
One of the reasons.
Nice.
She's making all the girls read it. And
that's good.
Yeah. Oh, 100% it's good.
They're doing it as kind of a little group project, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to recommend the confidence book too.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah. A little different topic on health, but the mental training side of things is vitally critical for great life, I think.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And you can't beat it. Like it's not going away. All that self-sabotaging, negative self-talk.
Yeah.
It's not going away. We have to use strategies to beat it. I'm learning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's weird. It's weird to do positive affirmations.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of poo-poos on that, like it's silly, and it's.
But even just like the thing that you have talked about, which I have been implementing, is the gratitude journal. Even that, the positive.
Yes.
Focusing on the positive things that happen, not well, this sucked today and that sucked today, but these 3 things or whatever number were great.
Yeah.
We all have things to be grateful for, and grateful people are happier people.
100%.
We know that,
and they sleep better.
and they sleep better.
It's proven through science.
Yeah. But what I find is so crazy talking about the sleeping component is if I am going to sleep with thinking about, oh gosh, I want to work on this, I want to work on that, and I wish this was a little different. I can just spin out on that stuff at night. I never used to be that way. I don't know. Is that a getting old thing too?
I don't know, but I do the same thing.
Do you?
I wish I would have done this a little different. I wish I would have said that today.
Right. And or how can I change this or that? Instead of, like you've said, the last thought before your head hits the pillow are those positive things.
Yeah. Actually, this gentleman talks about that in the book
Does
too.
he?
Yeah, like that's one of his strategies is to go through an affirmation process is the last thing you do. So your subconscious is focused on that. I am this thing.
Yes.
Without the conscious coming in and saying, no, you're this, and no, you're that, and you suck at this, and you suck at that. It's
so amazing how strong that pull is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
I'm always shocked how, I don't know, is it a perfectionism thing, do you think?
I think partly, yes.
Because I love the statement, no brain, no headache.
Yeah.
There's certain people that are like, da-da-da. They're never worried. They're sleeping fine.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's a perfectionism thing or feeling like we can control and alter so much more than we truly can.
Yeah.
Things get thrown at us all the time that we have to just endure.
Yeah.
So, how we respond to it is going to be a huge thing.
Yeah. He even talks about like in tough times when you have to face tough things, if you can tell yourself, I'm going to handle this well, and like use descriptive positive words about how you're going to handle whatever it is you're about to go through, like before a hard workout. I'm going to be energetic. I'm going to crush this workout. This is going to be so good for me. You will actually train harder and better than if you're like, oh, this is going to suck. I'm not going to be any good at this. This is going to rough. It's going to be a rougher workout.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It definitely does.
So it's so simplistic, but it's like, oh.
Yeah.
As soon as he starts connecting science and the validity of science to these ideas, for some reason now I'm like, oh yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Oh yeah, it sounds really good. Or prior to me, it was like
a little too woo-woo for you before.
Yeah, like I'll poo-poo on that. Like really, how can talking positive to myself really benefit me?
Yeah.
And science is super clear. It works.
Love it.
Yeah. Fun way to start the new year.
Definitely. And we have some fun guests that we're going to have in the next few weeks. So that's exciting too.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, thank you, Brad. Welcome back.
Happy New Year.
Yes. And,
Good seeing you.
Yes.
All right.